A common issue we see in lifters, myself included, is that the knees will recede back while coming out of the bottom position of the squat. This issue is something that some people can get away with until they don't, like me. For instance, when I attempt new maximal loads, it can put me into an inefficient position to transfer force, and then I can't complete the lift. Like you see here in this 275-pound attempt. The set before that, it happened still with 264 pounds, but I was strong enough to put myself back into an efficient position to complete the lift. But once it got to that max attempt, I could not complete it because of this issue. Now in this 270-pound attempt, which is a complete grinder and a PR, my knees did not recede back as much, and I fought through this position and was able to complete it. Now this issue can be amongst a combination of things, including a strength discrepancy between the quads and the hips or posterior chain, overall inefficient movement mechanics, uneven tension and loading distribution between the quads and the hips, and mobility or stability inefficiencies. Now, most people will attack this issue with the obvious, like I do as well. Strengthen the quads and perfect the overall movement pattern, which will be the bulk of what will help this issue, since strength is specific and we can strengthen a movement by strengthening its positional weak points. So I like to incorporate heavy front squats, heavy pause squats, and heavy high bar squats to really reinforce that bottom position and coming up out of the hole in the position that we need. But there is an often overlooked piece of the puzzle that I believe can be very beneficial, which is strengthening the anterior tibialis, or the front shin muscle, as well as the calves. So now is your excuse to train your calves. The anterior tib is responsible for dorsiflexion, or bringing the foot upwards towards the shin, and also provides some stability of the foot. So by strengthening this muscle, it can better maintain position of the knees in the squat and resist them from receding back as much. So for the first exercise, you're going to do a band resistant dorsiflexion exercise, and you're basically just going to hook up a band, wrap it around your foot, and make sure you scoot all the way back so there's some tension already in the band. And then I like to elevate myself just so I can get better range of motion. And all you're gonna do is point your toe forward and then pull your toe back as far as you can against the band. You should feel a lot of tension in that front shin muscle. You can do paused reps or constant tension reps, nice and slow and controlled. The idea is to get a good contraction in that tibialis anterior. Now, exercise number 2 is going to be a basic calf raise with load if possible. I actually prefer seated calf raise because it's a little bit more specific to a squat position, since you're in a more flexed position in the knees and the hips. However, if you don't have one of those, I want you to at least do a standing calf raise machine. This is actually a hack squat, but I'm using it as a calf raise. And I want you to go down as much as you can into that dorsiflexed position and then push up through the calves. When you're going down during this portion, I want you to feel that contraction or shortening phase of the tibialis anterior, because that's essentially what we're going to try to strengthen, as well as the calves. Now, this version I actually did with my knees a little bit bent to better replicate a squat position, and it actually felt a lot harder because that tibialis anterior was staying in a more tensioned and shortened position through the range of motion. So it was really intense and took a little bit more tension off of the calves and a little bit more tension onto the front of the shin. And then lastly, on this hack squat machine, I want you to do a knees forward, super narrow, basically squat, and I want you to try to jam those knees as forward as you can. You can even see that my heels are coming up off of the machine, which I'm doing on purpose to better get more range of motion and more dorsiflexion through that tibialis anterior. Exercise number 3 is what you probably know as a Spanish squat, or a band resisted knees forward, emphasized on the quads type of squat. So you're going to hook up either one band across both knees or one on each leg, and then walk it back so there's a ton of tension in the bands. And basically you're going to allow the bands to drive your knees as forward as possible. The more forward knee action we can get, the more loading we're going to get into the quads and the anterior tibialis, which again is what we are trying to emphasize here. And I want to also note, we're not trying to focus on gaining range of motion, assuming that mobility is not an issue. In this specific case, we're trying to prevent the knees from kicking back. So obviously that means that they're able to load forward, going down into the bottom position of the squat. So mobility is not what we're trying to achieve here. We already have that. This is more of a emphasis on loading that mobile position. So when you're going down, I want you to go super narrow, super knees forward as your knees can go. You can even shift onto your toes a little bit to emphasize that even more. And you can see that I'm staying a little bit more bent over when I stand up because I'm not trying to engage the hips or the glutes at all. I'm basically trying to load the knees and the ankles forward and then extend them as much as possible. The last exercise is going to be a band resisted goblet squat, and the main focus of this is to re-ingrain a movement pattern to keep your hips under you. Instead of allowing them to shoot back and the knees recede back, the band is going to force you to stay under or keep your hips under you and have your glutes contribute to that hip extended position. So oftentimes when we see the knees recede back, the hips go back as well, and we get stuck in a compromised position where we can't get those hips back under us, and we're in a quote unquote good morning type of position, and then we can't complete the lift. So that's why heavy front squats, heavy high bar squats are actually very helpful, because it does teach you to keep your hips under you. But something like this can also be very beneficial and less invasive overall. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment box below. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel, so please help me out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.